fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat. Or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. I'm going to once again be working on my Jasper C. I'm going to move things around a bit and zoom into where I'm going to be working, and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, I'm going to start my timer and I'm just going to jump in, and I'm going to warn you guys that I apologize in advance. My brain is in a million different places today. I'm filming this way later than I usually do, so I feel like I'm way behind. I've been playing catch up all day. We've been running errands all day, and yeah, my brain is just all over the place. So let me start with my life update. What's going on? Last Sunday, went to my nephew's graduation. Lots and lots of people. Got to see them for a little bit. We headed back home because hubby needed to get ready to head out to work. My oldest ended up riding with my brother for them to, they all went out to eat, and he very kindly brought her back to our house, which was where she had left her car. It was nice to see everybody again. Hopefully we'll be getting together again here at the end of the month. There's like 4 birthdays in in May and June. We'll be getting together for that. My sister and her family are planning a vacation. I think she said the first or second week of June. So we're hoping to get together before all of that happens. My youngest is officially done with all of his classes. He is super annoyed. He got all A's and 1 B. He was very annoyed about the B. He felt like it should have been rounded up, but a B is nothing to sneeze at, and he's done. But he's also annoyed because he's still waiting for them to mail his diploma. And I'm like, you got to give them time to finish paperwork. Like, literally classes just ended last week, so they have to get everybody's grades input. They got to figure out and make sure that everybody completed all the requirements to get their degrees. Then they got to print the diplomas, put them all together, and mail them all out. So I actually came across my diplomas when I was packing some stuff up. I didn't even realize that my parents had my old high school diploma, so I now have that again. I think I'm going to take pictures of everything before I pack it all up, just so I have photographic documentation of all of those things before we get ready to move. There's just been, oh my gosh, so much going on in regards to that. So we're still packing, painting, sorting, donating, all that kind of stuff. We painted the hallway by our laundry room last week. I definitely want to repaint our second bathroom. I feel like both the bathrooms need it. But we are having the darndest time. We finally decided, you know what, we're going to take in a paint chip and try and match the paint in our living room, because our living room, dining room, kitchen are all basically one open area, and also our basement stairs are open and just go down, so it's all kind of there together. So if you paint any one room, you kind of have to paint all of it. And we had talked about having somebody come in and do it, but I told my husband, I said, I didn't realize how heavily this was weighing on me as something we needed to get done, until we were like, well, maybe we can just spot paint where we need to instead of doing everything. And it was like, oh, I felt like I could breathe a little bit. But we took a paint chip in. They were supposed to match the paint. It's still too dark. And my husband tells me that it's because we got it in a satin because we were doing the bathrooms. And for the living rooms and everything, we should probably just get it in a flat. And he thinks that's what's making the difference. And I'm like, that's not it. Even with them matching the paint chip, it's coming out too dark. We went back again Saturday to get a smaller batch of paint, because, you know, we thought matching the paint chip, it for sure would match. And when the paint is wet, it does. But as soon as it dries, it's way too dark and it's super noticeable. So I'm to the point where we bought a gallon of white paint as well to paint some of our interior doors need redone as well, or at least need touch-ups. So I told my husband, I'm about to the point where I'm just gonna like start trying to mix 2-to-1 ratios or whatever. Start at 2-to-1 and see where I need to end up till we can find a paint that matches, because we went back and tried a different brand and now it's way too dark. It's even darker than the first one. Hubby's gonna try and take those back because we can't use them, but yeah, it's just ending up being super frustrating. So I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't want to have to call somebody out and have them paint the whole thing, because we'd have to have somebody professional do it. The way we have a cathedral ceiling and with the way the stairs and everything are, there's just no way that I want any of us to try doing it. Well, somebody will end up falling down the stairs and hurting themselves. So I thought that was going to get taken off our plate, and it really hasn't been yet. Although once weekends are always super busy because hubby is home, and so we end up doing a lot of running around, and I never get as much done as I think I'm going to because we're busy running around. I thought naively, everything just always takes longer than I think. Hubby and I could just bag up my 3 bookcases worth of books, and we were going to take them to, I didn't want to just donate them because a lot of the thrift shops will just throw them away, and I don't want to see books thrown away. If I can donate them to someplace, so that somebody who maybe doesn't have access to a bunch of books all the time could get them. Anyway, we had looked at a couple of secondhand bookshops that buy back books, and one of them, which is the one that my daughter went to before, they just didn't have a lot of good reviews. And so then we looked at this other one, which had much better reviews. So we went to that one. Hubby went there, and it's kind of funny because there's no rhyme or reason, at least to us, to what they pick or choose. I'm sure there is to them, because the lady was telling him, they base it on what they think will sell. Hardbacks actually sell worse than paperbacks. I guess because paperbacks are cheaper and lighter and easier to transport, maybe. She took a lot of paperback books, but then she also, I had almost the whole Harry Potter series in hardback. She took those and some other things. And then there was we had our whole trunk full of just bags of books. In the course of us kind of looking around and trying to find places, we had found this book warehouse that we didn't even know existed. And it's kind of in an out of the way spot in the big city near us, but we drove in because we were there anyway and said, do you guys take book donations? And basically it's just like this big warehouse. They take any kind of donations from anybody. And I think they charge $1 a book or something. They separate them broadly into categories. Yeah, they were happy to take everything that we had. And I was like, that's all I want. I just want to know somebody's going to get some good use out of these things, because I don't want to take them with us. I had told myself we were only going to take 1 box of books, and I'm now up to 3 because I didn't consider, my husband doesn't really read. I mean, he has some books that he's collected, but not very many, but he wants to take all of them. So just his books are another box. And then I have some that as we were going through, I was like, well, yeah, I'd really kind of like to keep that one. Some research things and some things that I used in school and stuff like that. So just ended up keeping more than I thought. But anyway, it just lots of running around, 4 hours of driving around, going to all the different places, stopping in here, there, and everywhere, and me trying to we need to get home. I've still got things to do at home. And here I was thinking that we could do everything, all the books that were left in the basement, and we didn't even clear out 1 bookcase and our trunk was full. So I guess we're going to be doing that a couple more times. Or we're just going to decide to participate in the citywide garage sales in a couple of weekends, and I'll just put out box of books $5 and let somebody else take care of them, do whatever, because it's kind of getting overwhelming. I think that's why my brain is all over the place today. We did finally meet with hubby's financial advisor. So now we know kind of what our options are here in the States. We thought he was coming to us with information about US and Canada. Nope, he only knew stuff about the US. So that was kind of disappointing. However, he did give us some options for things here in the States that we can do and figure out how we can have some money to survive on. My husband could take out his pension benefit that has been building up, but it's that 20% tax hit. Plus, it would almost definitely bump us up into the next tax bracket for filing our taxes next year. We're already going to take a big hit because taxes are more in Canada, and so we just don't know for sure what to do. And for right now, to just kind of leave it, let it sit there, get up to Canada and talk to somebody in Canada who kind of knows how all this cross-border stuff works. Yeah, just a lot more things for us to figure out. I mean, I think we have a handle on some of them, but I told my husband, I teeter back and forth between asking all of these questions so we know what we're getting into, and on the flip side, being like, we're just going to go no matter what. So let's just go. We'll figure it out when we get there. Our money can sit in IRAs and all that kind of stuff as long as we're reporting whatever needs to be reported, because there's apparently some weird rules because it's a US IRA or whatever retirement account that has to be reported on a certain way because it's tax deferred. But Canada has a tax treaty and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I don't like numbers anyway. And so I told my husband, we've reached the point in this conversation where my eyes have glazed over and I'm no longer paying attention because it's too fiddly. I mean, short of me going out and getting a CPA or something in cross-border taxes, I'm never going to understand it. That's what we're going to pay an accountant for. So let's just do that. We think we have a plan figured out that lets us, even if nobody works, we'd be good for at least a year, maybe more, so that we've got money to live on and we've got a place to stay. Yeah, I think at least this hour of the day, I'm to the point where I'm like, let's just go. We're gonna go. Hubby and I were talking about it, and he said, have you ever had the thought, maybe we should just stay here? And I said, yes. But, I mean, it is complicated. However, it's not impossible. Lots of people do it, and we've already come this far. I mean, we've already got our permanent residency approved. It would be silly to give this up and ruin our chances of maybe never getting it again. I do want to go up there. We do want to experience all of this. Is it possible that we get up there and decide, hey, this isn't really for us? I don't like being this far away from my daughter and the rest of my family. Maybe. Or maybe we get up there and I do what I think I'm going to do, which is spend all my time trying to convince everyone to move up there. So, yeah, I mean, I just told my husband, if we are unhappy, then we'll just make a change, right? He was so excited about, he hopefully will only be working for this company for another couple of weeks. Then we'll be in earnest kind of getting things ready, and he's like, I really want to get the house ready and get it on the market. And I said, we can put it on the market whenever we want. It's just, we're not going to get top dollar for it until we get it a little bit more empty, till we fix some of the things we need to fix, that kind of thing. I mean, there's nothing major we need to fix, really. It's just a matter of stupid stuff like steam cleaning the carpet. And, you know, the emptier, the realtors always tell you, the emptier that you can make it, the faster it will sell. Because when there's nothing in it, it's easier for people to imagine themselves in it, right? Trying to see yourself in a new space when it's all full of somebody else's stuff is really hard to do. I go back and forth too between thinking, well, should I really worry about it? My husband and I have been looking at all of these listings, trying to find someplace up in Canada, and some of the houses, it's like, I don't even know, for one, how some people move around in these houses because there's so much furniture. It seems like you'd have to be constantly making yourself super skinny to walk in between all of the furniture. Anyway, just lots and lots of stuff for us to think about. I think after yesterday, now we feel like we have too many options, and that always stresses me out to have too many choices. My brain is also on overload because I have been spending the last, not tons of time, but I have spent several hours this week going through online course to learn a new editor. I have used iMovie. I still use iMovie because I have a Mac. It comes with Mac, so it's free. It's fairly intuitive and easy to use. I've used it for 3+ years now, so have learned a lot of tips and tricks along the way, but it just is not as fancy. It's a very stripped down editor. It just doesn't let me do all the things that I want to do. And when I am looking towards doing the channel that I want to do for our move to Canada, it's very different from the diamond painting channel. Here, I'm not trying to kind of tell a story or anything like that. This is just me talking to you guys during my WIP and chats, me sharing with you tips and tricks that I've learned and stuff like that, but it's not really a story in the same way that a lot of YouTube channels are. I have a new camera I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn this new editing program. So yeah, my brain's just on overload, and that's all on top of packing, sorting, painting, doing all of those things. And it's always something. Hubby was out mowing the lawn Friday because it was cool, and our push mower broke. The right side of the handle of the frame that you hold onto while you're pushing it just snapped. We're a couple of months from moving anyway, and we have a riding mower. It's just easier to use the push mower in the backyard and around trees and other obstacles and things than it is to try and get in there with the riding mower. But I told my husband I'm also kind of to the point where maybe we just need to hire somebody to come for the next couple of months to take care of the lawn. Then that's something that's not on your plate. Yes, it's an extra expense, but it's not something then we have to worry about you trying to do when you come home. Somebody else is taking care of it, and it's just something we don't have to worry about. I think once we actually get the house on the market, that will probably be what we do. Hire somebody, and then we could sell the riding lawnmower because we won't need it anymore, and we're not planning on taking it with us to Canada. Yeah, just lots of things going on, and all the running around we did today. We get home and I was like, I really feel like I need a nap, but I still need to film, edit, and upload my WIP and chat because we just had so many things going on today that I didn't get around to it till late. I had gotten in the habit of trying to do them on Fridays, but and my neighbor's dog is out again. Guys, I swear, sometimes you can hear it on the recording, sometimes you can't. But it feels like whenever I go in to record, as soon as I sit down, he's out there barking up a storm. And it's weird to me that you guys can hear that, but like noises that are actually inside my household almost never get picked up. So, yeah, my brain is just kind of all over the place. I told my husband today, it feels like we've been planning this forever. It took forever. Like, it seems like so long ago that we were filling out paperwork and doing our medical exams and getting our fingerprints taken and all those things that we had to do to get the permanent residency. And now we're just months away from actually going, and it's gone from kind of feeling really real and exciting to being kind of surreal and a little scary. But I told my husband, I think while there is that part of me that thinks maybe this is a mistake, we just need to do it. If we don't do it now, we won't ever. And I really think we'll regret it if we don't. So, and it's not like we're not looking forward to it. I don't want to make it seem like that. We are. It's just scary. I think that's the thing, is it's just so many unknowns, and not just for me and my son, you know, moving up there and never having lived there before, but hubby's been down here for 13 years. So even though that's where he grew up, things have certainly changed since he was there. But he needs to get up there and be closer to his folks. The longer it is before we get up there, they're not getting any younger. And yeah, we just need to bite the bullet and do it. We can always figure everything out. It'll be interesting, but we'll manage. I think that's everything I wanted to tell you guys about my real life. Know that it's crazy right now. So what's going on in my diamond painting world? What's going on in my diamond painting world is almost as crazy as my regular life. So lots kind of going on behind the scenes. DP for Pets is coming up quick. Really, for that, I kind of have already done most of the front end work, so it's not going to be a ton of work to do that. However, it is still work doing the weekly drawings and getting the packages out and that kind of stuff, so there is still some of that work to do. But I enjoy doing all of that, and it'll be fine. I don't foresee any of that being anything that becomes a stressor for me or anything. I am still working on the J-wall. I am trying to get that finished up before the end of May. And I had some people comment that I didn't seem overly enthusiastic about the J-wall. It is a combination of things, I think. I like the painting, but it is not something I'm absolutely in love with. However, it was a very large project and a challenge, and I wanted to do it. And I actually, in the process of doing the painting, have found that I'm enjoying it much more than I thought I would. I think my lack of enthusiasm comes from I'm having to kind of fast track my way through it because I want to get it finished before all this other stuff hits the fan, because our move is coming up quickly and we've got all that kind of thing going on. There's just lots of things going on other than diamond painting that are affecting my enthusiasm for it, I think. Also, it's just so darn big. And I'm really, at this point, because I'm so behind on it in my mind, because I didn't stick to the schedule that I set out for myself, that I'm really kicking myself that I didn't stick to the schedule that I set out for myself, because I feel like if I had stuck with that, I would be way less stressed than I am right now, because I wouldn't be trying to finish this big, huge project in the middle of trying to get all this other stuff done. Now, who knows whether or not that's true? I said at the beginning when I started it that I didn't know if I would finish it by April, although that was the plan, and that I was fine with it carrying over into May. And I am fine with it carrying over into May. The problem is I didn't really start working on it in earnest until May. Now, I do think I'm going to get it finished. I have 3 rows left. I was hoping to be done this week. Clearly that's not happening. Maybe next week, but more realistically, probably the end of May is when I'm going to get it done. And that's disappointing just because, again, I feel like I put myself behind schedule. I put myself behind the 8 ball with all the other things that I have going on. I know I just need to cut myself some slack. I have a ton of things going on. It isn't going to bother anyone but me that I'm not meeting these imaginary deadlines that I've set for myself. That all being said, I am really looking forward to being finished with that one. I can't wait to show it to you guys. I posted some progress pics. Maybe I'll try to figure out how to do a last whip and chat. If I can figure out, the problem with doing a whip and chat is I would need to do it out in the living room, and that means I would need to do it when hubby is gone. That means I would need to film my whip and chat like Thursday, and that just seems like way too soon because stuff happens over the weekend that I want to share with you guys. What else is going on in my diamond painting life? The J-wall hopefully be finished. Obviously, I'm not going to get finished with Jasper C, but hopefully once the J-wall is finished, I'll start my Yorkie kit for DP for Pets. I think that one's going to go pretty quickly because it's a partial. I don't think that one's going to take me a super long amount of time. And then I can work on this one and finish this one and whatever else I working on, because I'm now behind again on my want series because I'm not going to get one of those done for May. That puts me 2 behind on that one now, so I'm going to have to figure out how to make that up. And maybe by the end of the year I'll have lots of extra time once the move is over and we're kind of settled and all that kind of stuff. Who knows? Hubby and I have also been talking about possibly packing up my diamond painting table, my adjustable table that I typically use to diamond paint on, because it is so big and it's kind of just sticks out in the middle of our living room. I mean, we're fine with it, but for the purposes of showing the house, it's not really feng shui, or it's just not conducive. It's a weird configuration of furniture for someone to come in, and you know how you look at, like, we've been looking at other people's houses going, how does that work? Either taking it apart and getting it all packed up and ready to go, or possibly moving it in here and swapping out the desk I currently use for filming and use my adjustable table for that. I don't like that just because I don't like being stuck in here working because hubby is out in the living room. And I see him so rarely. We want to spend our time, the time that we do have, we want to spend together. Maybe it doesn't matter if he's truly going to take a couple of months off until we get moved and then get back in the swing of things once we're in Canada, then maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. I've decided I'm just going to have to kind of play it by ear and accept the fact that I'm probably going to have a lot of anxiety about financial things for a little bit until we get moved and we make some sort of permanent decisions about what we're going to do. I thought hubby was ready to fully retire. He's actually saying now he doesn't really want to fully retire, but he would like to be able to pick and choose when he works. So really what he wants to do is like storm work, where he can say, I'm going to go work here for a month or whatever and make some money, and then I'm going to come home and I'm going to take 2 or 3 months off, and then I'll go back on this other storm or whatever, which isn't ideal, but it's an option, and we'll just have to see what happens. Maybe we'll get lucky and he'll end up with some sort of 9 to 5, 8 to 5 job up there that he didn't think was possible and he really likes, and it'll all be good. I just worry about his health. He's, when you work a manual labor job, you just start breaking down earlier than everybody else. Some days, some weeks, he comes home and he's just sore and really tired, and I feel like it gets to you mentally at that point. And I don't want that to be how he feels for the next 5 years or whatever it is. We've got options, which is always good. We just have to decide what we're doing. And I told him I think even the financial guy agreed that it probably would be best to talk to someone in Canada who is more familiar with all the cross-border stuff, because most people here in Kansas are not going to have any idea how all of that works. And he basically was like, if you're just going to leave everything here, then we can work with you, and it's just a matter of figuring out how to get the money we need to live on to us in Canada. And he actually told us that he has a guy that his wife is Scandinavian, I think he said. This guy was another lineman like my husband. He married this woman from somewhere in Scandinavia, Finland, Denmark, someplace like that. When he retired, they moved there, but he left basically all of his money here. So he just gets his retirement payments. All of his money is here, and then he gets it transferred to him when he needs it. I'm like, well, that's really interesting. So, but I don't know all the ins and outs and legalities of all that kind of stuff. So we just have some research to do. And I feel like if we're going to stay there, the financial guy was telling us it's because the U.S. has a lot more investment options and opportunities than a lot of other countries do. I don't know if that's because of the stock market or if it's because the U.S. has like Roth IRAs versus a regular IRA versus a 401k versus whatever all of the different things are out there that you can put your money into. And of course, all of this is moot for me anyway, because I don't have the option of taking any of mine out without taking not just a tax hit, but a penalty for early withdrawal. And so I said, I certainly don't want to do that. So my retirement accounts will just sit where they are, and then we'll have to figure out what does that mean if we're still up there when I'm old enough to finally withdraw them. That sort of got off topic. Diamond painting other things I shared last week, a couple weeks ago. I did end up buying a couple of kits from some new to me diamond painting companies. I have a couple of them already, so I'm excited about those. I can add those into my stash. I actually bought a couple of diamond painting kits from Diamond Art Club this week. So I shared in the Facebook group. If you're not in that, go check it out and join. We'd love to have you there. I shared in the Facebook group, they finally had the Jetsons. I'm a little bummed that Astro wasn't in it, but Rosie is. So that's all good. And it's not a very huge one, so I went ahead and ordered that. But I actually saw another one first that I was really interested in. And it was as I was looking at that one that I saw the Jetsons one. So I was like, okay, definitely going to get both of these. Okay, there was something weird this weekend. Normally, Diamond Art Club emails about their new releases come right at 11 o'clock on the dot. And Dreamer Designs also releases on Saturday, but I usually get theirs a couple minutes after Diamond Art Club's. So because I knew I wanted to get the Jetsons, I was literally in front of my computer at 10:59 going, okay, 1 minute I should get my email so that I can look at all the new releases. Didn't get it. Refresh my browser. Oh, there's an email. Oh no, that's Dreamer Designs. Huh, how come I still haven't got Diamond Art Club's? Refresh, nothing. I happened to be looking at Diamond Art Club's website because I was looking at some of the new releases from last week. And when I went there, it suddenly refreshed itself and suddenly I could see the new releases for this week. So I went ahead, hurriedly stuck everything in my cart and checked out because I had written down the name of the other kit that I wanted. As I'm checking out, I realized, one, I didn't realize the second kit that I was getting, not the Jetsons one, the other one, was a pre-order. So it's not going to be available for another couple of weeks, which means my Jetsons is going to get held up until that one is ready, which is kind of annoying. I hate doing that, but I really wanted that one. So, and then I had to laugh because once again, I'm looking at the paintings and I'm like, oh, this one is so cute. It's right up my alley and it's big. I'm telling my husband, oh, here's the two I got. This one, oh man. But it's really cute. And even though it's probably bigger than I realized, it's one of those that has all the different little vignettes and pieces. So you can work on, I'm going to work on this little section of it. You know, those paintings where there's just so much going on, like an underwater scene, for an example. Oh, I'm going to work on this fish here. Oh, I'm going to work on the little treasure chest. Oh, I'm going to work on this octopus. Oh, I'm going to work on this piece. Oh, I'm going to work on... I don't mind doing big kits when they're like that because then it kind of breaks it up and you can choose to work on separate little pieces of it. I was actually thinking the other day that I haven't done random numbers in a long time. Like I've been doing my own cover sheets. So I think that's why I don't think about it, because numbering the sections, I could try putting numbers on my cover sheets, I guess. Numbering the sections and then like just spinning my wheel or just picking a number at random and kind of doing it rather than just kind of going by row. Sometimes it's more fun to do it that way because you don't know what section of the painting you're going to be doing until you uncover it. So maybe I'll do something like that here shortly as well. I don't know. Like I said, you guys, my brain is on overload. This whole whip and chat probably made 0 sense to anyone but my brain. I apologize. After the financial guy left, I said, okay, my brain is now going 90 miles an hour. I need to just kind of spew out all of the ideas and everything that are in my brain. Because usually what happens is as I talk, in my brain, I'm kind of thinking it all through, and then I'll think, well, maybe I don't want to do it that way. Maybe this would be a better option. Maybe we could do this. Maybe we could do that. So it was helpful to meet with the financial guy, even if he didn't come prepared with help for Canada like we were understood that he was going to be, but it's all good. I told my husband, much as I like talking to some of these people because they do have knowledge, I mean, at the end of the day, they're there to make a buck off of you. And so I said, yeah, he's happy to manage our financial investments. Nowhere was what percentage, what fees, what all of that they take. So I'm always leery of that kind of stuff. Yeah, how long have I been blathering? My goodness. Okay, I think I talked more than I diamond painted this time. Not that that's unusual for me. And of course, as I get done diamond painting, the dog is no longer barking. So hopefully when I go to edit this, you guys will not have been able to hear him. I think that's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for listening to me info dump everything on you guys. If you have any comments or things you'd like to share, please feel free to leave those down below. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.